Hello there, fellow park visitors, and welcome to another edition of a park review from Big Guy Rides. Up next on our park review list, we headed over to Universal Studios Hollywood. This is located in Universal City, California. And as you enter into the park, you first start out at the Universal City Walk. This is a really cool entrance into a park that has a lot of shops, food, cinemas, and various style of attractions. At the end of City Walk, you will find the red carpet entrance into the Universal Studios Hollywood theme park. This is one of the busiest parks, so I would definitely look at times of year that make sense to plan your visit. We went on a Sunday and happened to luck out, the crowds were not that big. Shout out my sister for coming with. The first ride we went to go get on was Kung Fu Panda Adventure. One thing I will mention here at the start is the queue theming is very incredible for most of the Universal rides. This is a DreamWorks theater ride. It's a motion theater seat ride that allows you to sit in your chair as the chair moves back and forth and shakes you up and down to make you feel the effects that are going on the screen. And DreamWorks did a really good job of putting this theater together. We gave this a ride rating 2 out of 10 and a size rating of an XXL. There are no restraints in these chairs, so anybody should be able to ride. Let's watch some of the show. What a fun ride with Kung Fu Panda. Then we went over to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This is an amazingly themed area that even has the train that you can stop and take pictures with. Shops where you can buy wands. And various wizards running about. The first ride we got on in this section was Harry Potter ride in the Forbidden Fortress. There is a single rider line on this one, so if you're a single, I would recommend hitting that. Lines can get really long at this park, so anytime you see a single rider line and you're alone, my recommendation would be hop in that line. Again, some of the theming and the queues here is absolutely phenomenal. This one makes you feel like you're walking through the Hogwarts castle. This is a dark ride that sits up on tracks and it simulates you flying through the sky. It's completely indoors and is pretty dark, so it's a little bit difficult to see on the POV. But we wanted to show you what it looked like anyhow, so you got a feeling for the ride. We gave this one a ride rating of 7 out of 10 and a size rating of a large. The seats are a little bit tight on this one And if you have a bag, you have to wear it on your shoulder on the side. So I'd recommend putting that in a locker, as that can take out a little bit of space that would be left normally for the rider. I was able to fit, however, so let's take a spin. And once you get off the ride, there's a nice gift shop and a wand shop outside of there where you can purchase your wand. The next ride we went to go get on is called Flight of the Hippogriff. This is the only outdoor roller coaster until Fast and Furious opens up. And this is a mock coaster. Really nice for families. Offers a decent amount of room for larger riders. We gave it a ride rating of a 6 out of 10 and a size rating of an XL. Let's take a lap with the Hippogriff. The Tri-Wizard Rally is also a fun little show to watch. And Ollivanders is where you can go catch a wand fitting. This is a really cool experience that you're not going to find at almost any other park, so I would definitely recommend to stop in here to see this one-of-a-kind experience. You may even be the lucky one chosen to win a wand. And per usual, there's a really nice gift shop as you exit through the ride. Up next, we went over to the Springfield area of the park, which showcases the Simpsons Ride. The Simpsons Ride is a motion simulator car ride where you sit in a pod and each car goes through the simulation on their own. If you get motion sickness easily, I would recommend against this ride. You enter into the ride through kind of a back hallway corridor, and that allows you to get into each different pod. Once you've been assigned your pod, you and your group will enter into an instruction and safety training course video area before being led into the ride station. Once in the ride station, you can place your bags off to the side, which is a nice feature. And this one has single position lap bars that come down over the whole row. We give it a ride rating of 4 out of 10 and a size rating of an XL. Most adults should be able to fit in this ride unless you have a very large belly. It's not one of the more thrilling simulators that I've been on, but it does have some cool interactive things from the show. If you like The Simpsons, I think you will enjoy it. Let's take a ride. Up next, we headed over to Production Plaza and Minion Land. This is a beautiful section of the park where you're going to find another couple of family rides. This park is certainly geared towards kids, families, and those on the lower end of the thrill spectrum, but still offers some really cool rides for thrill seekers as well. The first ride over here we went to go get on was the Secret Life of Pets. And this had my favorite queue theming of any of the rides that we went on. It takes you through multiple different houses and apartments as if you were one of the pets living in them. If you have seen this movie or your kids have seen the movie, you are sure to enjoy this attraction. This is another indoor track ride where you sit in different box style of cars as you go throughout the course. Although it is not an interactive dark ride like a shooter or some of the other types I've been on, I still think this offers a really cool experience and would recommend a stop. It has lap bars for each rider. We gave it a ride rating 5 out of 10 and a size rating of an XL. It offers decent amount of room for those who are larger riders. Those with large bellies may have a little bit of difficulty. With that said, let's take a ride. And at the end of this ride, if you're a lucky enough pet, you get to be picked out by a family and taken home. It's a fun little twist, making you feel like you're one of the characters in the movie. Looks like we got adopted. And as always, as you exit the ride, there's a wonderful gift shop to get your pet merchandise. Right next door, located to the pet ride, that you will find Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. This is a very popular family ride, so I would suggest going to it early if it is important to you. Especially with the release of Despicable Me 4 this year, this ride seemed to be extra popular. This is another motion theater ride, but this one's a little bit different in that it kind of shakes the whole theater at once instead of each individual pod. You get a little bit of a pre-show as you wait for the cycle before you to exit, which does help make the line move along a little bit quicker. One thing is, this does have a little bit of water action, so if you don't like to get wet, this will spray you just a little bit of mist. We gave it a ride rating of 3 out of 10 and a size rating of an XXL. It has single position lap bars that should go over everybody in the row. And nearly anybody should be able to fit on this ride. I would suggest sitting as close to the inside as possible, as the corners block off a little bit of the view, and as most towards the center as you can get will provide you the best ride. Unfortunately, due to copyright issues, I am unable to show you the POV of this attraction, so I highly recommend you make a stop so you can watch it on your own. And as you exit, you will head into the Minion gift shop. I will say we spent a good portion of our day over in this section of the park. And there's another ride over here called the Silly Swirly Fun Ride. This is a kids spinning Dumbo style of attraction. It seats 1 or 2 per car. We gave it a ride rating 3 out of 10 and a size rating XXL. This features a seatbelt only and has a ton of room for large riders, allowing for almost anybody to be able to ride. Let's take flight with the Silly Swirly Fun Ride. We also got lunch in this section of the park over at the Minion Cafe. It has some really great options, and I happened to pick up a grilled cheese and tomato soup. The pricing I also thought was pretty good. Krusty's Burger is another joint that we stopped to eat at and would recommend. Up next, we went over to the Studio Tour. This is one of the coolest attractions at any amusement park I have ever been on. Note, this ride is about 50 minutes long, and there is no restrooms during the ride, so if you need to go, I would suggest hitting the bathrooms before or shortly after. We give this a ride rating 5 out of 10 and a size rating of an XXL. These trams leave at various times, so be sure to check the times that the trains depart, but should allow for any adult to be able to get on and ride. The studio tour takes you down into the studio film lot where you can see film sets from various shows, movies, and attractions that Universal Studios and their partners have been a part of in the years past. They also show you a sneak peek into what's coming in the future. What I didn't realize is just how many iconic movies that Universal and their partners have been a part of filming. They also show you things like different stages where shows are filmed, including America's Got Talent and The Voice. They also have these bungalows here where famous actors and stars get to come and stay while they are shooting or filming on scene, which is really cool to think of who's been in there. And as you move about the studio tour, you find various sections where they come to film different movies and TV shows. Some of these may be recognizable to you, and some of them may just look like everyday props, but many of them are empty buildings and are simply facades put up to shoot for the different movies. There's also 3 sections of the ride that take you indoors into either a simulator or a motion effect theater. And the first one happens to be surrounded by Jurassic Park. It's really cool because the tram wheels lock into place and this actually becomes a moving motion ride. Once you exit out of there, you continue on to see plenty more different movie scenes. And you head into stage 50, which is their special effects theater. This just gives a small glimpse into what Universal is capable of doing to the general public. Let's watch this building come to life. It's pretty impressive. They put on that display every 5 to 7 minutes as a studio tour rolls by. The studio tour is free with admission, in case you were wondering. Say hello to Jaws. And this section I found to be really cool. This is where they film floods. All of this water comes rushing out and can create a flood-like scene. Over here is the Western section where they filmed old Westerns and different type of movies. And this area is called the neighborhood. This is responsible for filming family sitcoms and different TV shows. And just past the neighborhood, you will find the actual set to the War of the Worlds movie, which has all of the airplane wreckage and props still lying out there for you to see. Like I said, this is a really awesome attraction and allows an insight into seeing a lot of different areas where some of your favorite movies may have been filmed. I would definitely recommend getting on the studio tour. You can also see things like where Bates Motel was filmed and this old Western theme park, amusement park style, where they like to film horror shows. The third and final dark section of this ride shows Fast and Furious portions where it feels like you're riding along with them. And after we hopped off the studio tour, we went down to the backlot section. The first ride we got on in the backlot is Revenge of the Mummy. This is a premier, dark, launched indoor coaster. We gave it a ride rating 8 out of 10 and a size rating in XL. This has a little bit tight restraints for tall riders. As a reminder, I'm about 6'4", 295 pounds. I think this was definitely the best ride in the park. It launches you forwards and also drops you backwards. With that said, let's sit back and enjoy the ride. What a ride with Revenge of the Mummy. And after that, we went over to Transformers The Ride 3D. This is another dark ride that sits on a track with 3D screens that play as you roll by. This one had some of the best queue line theming in the park as well. Right up there with Secret Life of Pets and Harry Potter. One thing I'll say about the queue lines is they happen to be extremely long, and I don't think they build them that way as an accident. Universal, like I mentioned before, can have some of the longest lines, so it was very important to try to plan out your day and pick out the rides that are important to you before you visit. These have cars that roll on a track with single position lap bars that go over everybody in the whole row. Most adults should be able to fit on this ride. We gave it a ride rating of 4 out of 10 and a size rating of an XL. Let's enjoy the ride with Transformers. What a great ride that was on Transformers. And after that, we went over to Super Nintendo World. This was a great section of the park and happens to be their newest addition. You immerse into a Super Mario World fantasy land as soon as you walk through that tunnel. And this is a place where families and kids alike will enjoy. There's a couple explorers and challenges back here. But the only major ride that you're going to find is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This one also has a single rider line, so I would highly recommend you jump in that. This will save you a lot of time. This one has some of the longest waits of the park, so if you get there early, I would run to the back and try to hop on. We gave this a ride rating of 7 out of 10 and a size rating of a large. The lap bars that come down are a little bit tight for those who have wide hips or large bellies, so beware if that applies to you. I was able to fit though, so let's take a ride. And of course there is an awesome Super Mario themed gift shop when you exit the ride. The last ride I wanted to showcase was Jurassic World. If you followed me on this channel, you know that I do not do water rides as I hate to get wet. However, this seemed to be a very popular attraction. And if you're into water rides, I would definitely recommend a stop. This one also has a single rider line, which I would recommend hopping in if you were a single. And there's the big splashdown if you like to get drenched. Waterworld is a show that I did not get to see, but I would highly recommend as I've heard amazing things about it. Just make sure that you check the show times if that's something you want to watch. And with that said, brings to conclusion our visit to Universal Studios Hollywood. This was an awesome park that I would definitely recommend for families and kids. Thrill seekers may not find quite as many rides that they are into, but I still think it's worth a visit. With that said, we ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, as that greatly helps our channel. And just remember, when you're at the park, don't be afraid to try. Happy riding, everybody. Thank you for watching Big Guy Rides.